Hi everyone, I'm kalimsiYT, and today we are starting out this video on a pre-built lot, as you can see, and these are the Elmwood apartments that I built in Brightchester. And I built these 9 months ago or so, like before I even started my YouTube channel, but I never ended up furnishing it. So that's what I want to do today, is kind of go in and then furnish this so I can have it working within my save file. So as you can see, this is just a traditional little apartment building. I imagine it's pretty old. It's been here for a while. If you go and take a look at the lot traits, I have convivial, party place, and a study spot, but I put a lot of lot challenges on here. So I have the filthy, mold, and maintenance trouble ones because I really want this to be clear that like these are not nice apartments. I imagine that these are the cheap student apartments that students will rent when they just don't have a lot of money. And so I'll give you a little tour of what I have so far. So I've already furnished one apartment, which I'll get into in a second, but I have the lobby here where Sims can go get their mail. The elevator, unfortunately, is not functional. It is just for decoration, but I thought it was a nice touch. Downstairs is the communal laundry area, and then I also have the water heater and the fuse box here as well, so they can do their laundry here. How nice, although it is really scary down here. Like, I would be scared to do my laundry. And then the hallways upstairs are nothing special. I have two bedroom units on the third floor, but the first and second floor both have one bedroom. And for this save file, I want to leave one of these apartments blank, so that way either I or you, if you download this build, can go ahead and move your sim into one of these apartments as well and not have to worry about evicting someone or getting rid of some of the furniture in there. And so I think I'm gonna end up leaving this one blank right here. We'll go with that. But yeah, I already have one furnished because I already have the sim in mind that I wanted to live here. I'll put a picture of her up on screen. Her name is Lori Stanford, and she's heavily inspired by Rory Gilmore from Gilmore Girls. And so I just went ahead and furnished this apartment for her. And I think the first one that I want to start with is going to be this one right here. And the Sims, I don't have Sims in mind for every single one of these. However, I do want the Pleasant sisters, who are townies that come with Discover University. I want them to live here, and I have made them over as well, and I'll put the pictures of them up on screen so you can see what that looks like. And so yeah, I want to start off today by furnishing this apartment for them. So as far as who is getting what room in this apartment, I kind of wanted to give Angela the smaller room and then Lilith the bigger room. And these rooms, these are really small, but I feel like this is just kind of how it goes in old bad apartment buildings like these. But to be honest, I just think I'm gonna have a lot more fun decorating Lilith's room than I will Angela's, so that's why I'm deciding to give her the small one. And then I guess we should probably pick out Lilith's bed too, because that will help me figure out what I really want to do with them. Okay, I think that one from Seasons is going to work. Now, I kind of want to start on Angela's room here. So she is an art history major at Brightchester. So I definitely want to include an easel in her room because I imagine that she'd have painting for homework or something like that to do. Specifically, I think I want to use this Discover University one that came with the pack. And I'm gonna try and fit a dresser and a nightstand in here too, which may be kind of hard because there's not a lot of space, but I think I can figure something out. Okay, why does this dresser come in a swatch, but then the matching nightstand doesn't come in a matching swatch? That doesn't make any sense. But honestly, it's probably more realistic that the furniture is mismatched because I imagine that, like most college students, furniture is kind of acquired like mostly secondhand, you know? It's not really like you're going out and buying a whole furniture set, because I certainly can't afford to do that. And I imagine that most people are kind of in the same boat as me with that. Or at least if they're living in this apartment complex or this apartment building, they're definitely in the same boat in that they cannot afford to go and do that. I don't really want to include much more like actual furniture in here, except I do want to include a hamper because I do want them to be able to do laundry in the scary basement. So I'll have that, and then I think that's it. And honestly, that's really all you need in a bedroom anyways. So I think it will be fine. Now to actually give this place some personality, I'm gonna go ahead, leave that here. I think a rug would be a really easy way to make this bedroom look just like slightly less depressing. I feel like this one goes pretty well with the space. I love that this alarm clock is functional in gameplay, but I wish they'd go back and update like this alarm clock too from high school years, or really like just any of the clocks. Like I would love to have that capability with all of them, not just this guy, because it's really helpful to actually be able to wake your Sims up and not have the clocks just as a decoration. One thing I do want to make sure to include in their apartments is the appropriate like textbook for each of their majors, because I think, I don't know, just paints a better story. And so I'll put the villainy one in Lilith's just to get that out of the way now. I would love to put this hanging one there. I think that would look really pretty, but do we have enough room? That's the real question. I think for wall decor, having a bunch of posters of like drawings that she could have theoretically made would be cool. I might also at some point try and put like a painting over here, because like she's art history, so maybe she's like really into old paintings or something. I don't know. Can you tell I'm not an art history major or know anything about art history for that matter? Okay, I think I have Angela's room to where I like it. I put some curtains in, and then I ended up moving the painting art piece over here, and then I put a floor lamp. Oh, camera. I put a floor lamp over in this area here too, just because this corner of the room was seeming kind of dark. Like I said, I'm gonna double check to make sure that's functional, but I think we can move on to Lilith's room now, and we should have a lot more space to work with, so hopefully we can make it look a lot better. Okay, so I think I have the basic layout here. Here's the bed, it's gonna go up against the wall, the desk in the corner, and then the dresser over here. I think that should work out pretty well, and I think first things first, a rug would also look really good here. I feel like when in doubt with the room, I just like to put in rugs. It just really makes the space look better. Little building tip. I'm gonna put these curtains back here, but I feel like in real life, most of the time these curtains would probably be shut. I feel like that desk is cluttered up enough to where that looks nice. For the dresser, I also want to put a decent amount of clutter on here. I kind of imagined that Angela is more of like the clean one, whereas Lilith is just a little bit messy, and that drives Angela crazy, and vice versa. So I'm gonna try and paint that picture by decorating these rooms accordingly. Now, one thing I really wanted to do in this room was go in and put the LED lights all over, and then I'll go ahead and I'll make them a different color so that they're not white. I think this purple looks much nicer. I don't know why these lights aren't also showing up as purple, because whenever you look at it, they're set to the setting I gave it. So I don't know why this one looks significantly more purple than this one, if like this light being on has something to do with it, but I don't think that's something I can change. Okay, I think this room is all done. I also went in and I put some just grime and stuff to make the apartment look dirty for this room as well as Angel's room, and I'm sure whenever I get to the common area in the bathroom I'll do the same there too, because I really want to drive the point home that this is not a nice complex and it's really dirty and really old, and I think that adds to it. And I imagine when I do all of the apartments I'll carry that over into there too. We don't have a lot of space to work with, but we do have a little. And I want to fit in, and this may be kind of ambitious of me, I was wanting to fit in like a living area, a dining room table, and maybe a desk, because Angela does not get a desk in her room. But I have a feeling I'm gonna have to cut the desk, and then the homework can just be done on the dining room table, because that is a lot to fit in this space. What if we did something like that, and then I could put the dining room table behind here? Like, yeah, I think that works. Definitely don't think I'm gonna be able to fit in that desk. Oh, I should put the radiators in here. I think that would be a good idea. I feel like this looks nice. Like this little common area right here. I think I need to detail the kitchen though, and then, oh, and the dining room table. I need to put some stuff on that. Man, going through debug just to find one item gets really annoying sometimes. I think I'm pretty happy with how this area has turned out. I added a shelf onto the kitchen to put some clutter, just because I feel like that makes the space just look a little better. I guess all that's left to do is the bathroom, but I don't really, there's not a whole lot of room to put anything substantial there, but I'll see what I come up with. Okay, yeah, I did nothing crazy for the bathroom. I did put a significant amount of water stains behind the shower and the sink, just to make it look like it's in dire need of maintenance that the landlord is probably not going to come out and fix. So I think this is the first apartment done. So this is going to be Angela and Lilith's apartment, and then on the other side, I haven't created the Sims that live here. However, I want it to be two guys that share this apartment, and I want it to be an absolute mess. Just like lots of parties are thrown here. It's very slobby-ish. I think this will be the general layout of this room. I guess it's not super different from how the room next door is, but I don't really think there's much else I can do with it. I feel like the guy who lives here is the type of guy to break out his guitar and play Wonderwall at parties, so I think we have to include that in there. And then I was thinking of putting a rug in here, but honestly, I feel like that's too nice. I don't know if I want to do that. This tapestry goes perfect with the bedding here. So I think that room is all finished. It's really nothing crazy. Just something very simple. I imagine that this guy does not own a lot of stuff. And I kind of want to work on the common area next. And isn't the stereotype that straight men will just have a TV and then a couple of chairs and then call it a day? I kind of want to recreate that, and then we could just use the city living chairs. Definitely want it to seem like this was, found on the side of the road or something like that, and that's how they got their furniture. It's simple, it's ugly, so it's perfect. Don't men love flags, hanging those up. I feel like this flag conveys everything we need to know about their priorities. Oh yeah, the dirty rug I think is perfect for this space. I want to see if I can fit in a keg. Move this over here, and then we'll just keep this out here. I'm gonna switch out this table for this crate. Just to really bring the point home that all of these decorations were found on the side of the road. Honestly, I fear I have too many decorations in here. Now, in the kitchen, I have a feeling that these boys don't cook. And instead, they probably just order out every day or have a dining plan. And I want to put stuff that represents that. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna put a bag of trash outside their room, because I imagine they're too lazy to take it to the dumpster. If any of these apartments are gonna have mice, it's gonna be this unit. Maybe we'll stack some dirty dishes up here too. I think the common area is done. It looks bad, and that's the goal. I think this is a good general layout for the second bedroom. I do want to put slightly more decorations in here, but like nothing crazy. Oh my gosh, I forgot a very important part to the living room. There needs to be a video game console somewhere in here. So maybe I just like put it on the floor, like right there. And then that could be where they play. And I feel like the dartboard could be kind of silly too. Oh, and then I'll move the holes in the walls over here, and we can pretend that that is how those got there. It's because of all the darts that missed. Actually, I really like that idea. Okay, I think I'm gonna call this bedroom done. It's definitely a lot more cluttered up than the one over there, but I think it looks good. So I think this apartment is finished as well. We have the 2 bedrooms here and then the common area, which means that this 3rd floor is fully furnished, which is awesome. Okay, so the next apartment we're working on is this 1 bedroom on the 2nd floor here. And I have a sim in mind for who's gonna live here as well. And I'll put a picture of him up on screen. His name is Alan Smith, and he's an alien. So I wanted to name him Alan the Alien because, you know, Alan kind of sounds like alien. And then if you've also seen Invincible, there's a character on there named Alan the Alien, and I like that name. So that's what we're going with. And his storyline is that he has been sent from 6am to Earth to gain intelligence on life and all things about Earth, so that one day the people or the aliens of 6am can then take over and do whatever they need to do. So because of this, Alan has been placed here and is studying biology at Brightchester, learning everything there is to learn about life, plants, the earth, so he can then report back. Now, I kind of thought it would be a fun idea if it was kind of that he was doing this at first, you know, and then he starts meeting some people, and because of that he's become like kind of conflicted about whether he should assist in the potential like takeover of Earth one day, or if he should just start living his life like normal, kind of. I gave him, I think, the genius and the socially awkward trait because I wanted to kind of seem like he doesn't really know what he's doing on Earth right now, and that like he's not good at talking to people. Like he just doesn't understand humans yet. And so because of that, he probably doesn't have a lot of friends, like maybe a friend or two. And so I wanted to make it look like his apartment is like, there's definitely something weird about it, but he's like kind of trying to hide it. So I have these plants that are from like the world of 6am that I imagine he's like growing in his room, and I'm gonna place those around here. And I want to place a lot of like normal plants too, because, you know, he's like trying to learn about earth and plants, and so I feel like he would, you know, take up growing those as a hobby. I was kind of conflicted. I was thinking of maybe putting in the sleeping pod from Get Famous in here, but my only gripe about that is that the whole thing is that he's like secretly an alien. Like I don't think people know, or maybe they know but they like don't know that he like has an ulterior motive or anything. Maybe I will put this in here just to make it seem more like an alien lives here, but I still want to like college-ify it so that it looks like a student does as well. Change the color of the lamp so that it looks like a grow light, and that just helps like with the alien vibe in general as well in here. I can't tell if these curtains really add to the alien vibe or if it's just a little too on the nose, but I feel like they're too perfect to not include. I do kind of want to give him some nice things, nothing crazy nice, but like I'm gonna give him a brand new laptop because I want to kind of imagine that when he was sent here, the aliens gave him some like earthling money to spend on getting set up. Okay, I gotta include the alien lamp somewhere in here, right? I kind of also want to imagine that he has this pet space squid that he brought with him when he traveled here. So if you think about it, Alan is really just a study abroad student. He's just not from any of the other normal worlds in the game. As for the artwork, I put like a little nod to his alien heritage, but I also wanted to put some like nature inspired stuff because I do think as he's learned about life and Earth. He's really like he's developed an appreciation for the planet, and so he does kind of like it, which I think is making it harder for him to complete his mission of gathering intel on it and then reporting back. I think this room is done. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's not super cluttered, and I think that is a good thing, to be honest. But there really isn't a whole lot of room to work with for like a whole living and dining room area. So I think I'm gonna plop like a single table in the corner and then have a TV and couch set up over here. I think I'm gonna keep the inflatable sofa and bring that out here too, just because again, I feel like I don't really get a chance to use this, and so why not seize that opportunity? I imagine that he has a phone and keys and all of that, but he probably doesn't use technology all that much. Like, he just has the phone to keep up appearances and to not seem weird, but he probably like doesn't need it. I want to put this space rock in as kind of a little memento from home. You know, if he gets homesick, he looks at that. I feel like he wouldn't cook a whole lot either. Like, maybe he gets like food delivery a lot, and I don't, because maybe he just like doesn't know how to cook human food. Maybe it's like been a big adjustment to kind of have to switch to this new diet. Okay, I think that's all I want to do for this apartment. It's not heavily decorated, and that's intentional, but I think it says a lot about his personality, which is nice. Okay, so there's one unit left, and it's this one on the right on the first floor, and I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with it. I haven't made the sim yet for this either, so I don't know. We'll see what happens with this one. One of the packs comes with this wicker furniture set, and I think it's just small enough so that it will fit in this apartment nicely. So I'm gonna go and use that throughout the build. I think for decor style, like an eclectic, colorful vibe would be pretty cool in here. I always forget that these beaded curtains are in the game, but I feel like that they would definitely be in a college student's apartment, so that's perfect. I also always forget about these shelving displays that you can mix and match to create your own shape, and so I think this would be a great entry table. I really like the idea of the girl who lives in this apartment having a cat. So I'm gonna put everything in here as if there's also a cat living here. So a fun little tip is that you can put these pots on the stove as long as whenever you're doing it, you put it over this top right burner here, because they don't interact with that in game. So the stove is still fully functional even if you put that right here, but you can't do it for any other burner. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how this common area turned out. It's very colorful and there's a lot going on, and I feel like it has a bunch of personality, which was the main goal. I feel like the sim got a cheap furniture set that matches for the bedroom, because all of it is the same, like, dream home decorate. It says on here it's by Lumber, so maybe that's like the Sims IKEA. Okay, this is what I ended up going with for the bedroom. It's nothing crazy, but you know, enough to have some personality to it. Okay, and I think this should be the last apartment all done. So all that's left to do now is to turn it into a residential rental and then divide up each of the different apartments. And I went and I play tested everything, and everything should work. So if you get it on the gallery, there should be no issues with having your Sims interact with the lot. The only thing is that since there are multiple elevators on the lot, it doesn't really like that. So sometimes it won't let you exit build mode. So if you want to bypass that, you can just go to manage worlds, is what I found, and it seems to work. However, if that does really bother you, you can just get rid of the extra elevators that are on this lot. Alright, so here is a finished video tour of the Elmwood apartments, which we furnished in the video, and I'm going to take you quickly through all of what we did today. So I furnished this apartment off of camera, but this is just another 1-bedroom apartment that has just simple standard furnishings for some Sims, and then on the other side is the one that we just finished. I really like the colorful vibe that we ended up going for in here. I think it makes the apartment look super cozy and cool. Now upstairs, this unit on the left is blank, and that's so you can move a Sim in if you would like to. Oh, there are 2 doors there. We fixed that. Okay, that is back to normal now. I don't know why that was like that, but yeah, this one is blank. And then on the other side, this is the 1-bedroom apartment for Alien Sim, and I really like how this one ended up turning out, especially the bedroom. Now on the 3rd floor is the 2 units that are 2 bedrooms, and then on the left, this is kind of what I imagined to be the party unit, and you can see it's pretty messy and not super well decorated, but I think it turned out pretty good. I do like it. And then on the other side, this is the apartment that I designed for the Pleasant twins that also have 2 bedrooms in them. And then down in the very basement, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, is the scary laundry area. And then if you need your landlord to go in at some point, or if you're playing as the landlord for this building, the water heater and the fuse box are down here as well. Okay, and I will have this lot uploaded to the gallery if you do want to download it. Alright, and I think I'm going to leave this video here, so if you enjoyed watching me build this, feel free to give the video a like, comment on it, or even subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye everybody.